Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 21 of Omnifactory. My name is ZD Sauce, and last episode we did some cool stuff. We automated circuits, or at least we automated a few things, and in between episodes I added in a few more recipes. So all the recipes for the different SMD components that use the polyethylene, those are in here now, and I've tested a few of them, and it does seem to be working as planned. One interesting thing with the capacitors is if we look at that, so it makes 16 at once, but it takes a quarter of a polyethylene sheet. So I had to kind of alter the recipe to use like 16 of the polyvinyl chloride, 4 of the aluminum foil, and then 1 of the sheets, and then it just makes 64 now. So it's hard to get a quarter of a polyethylene sheet, but that works fine. And then over here, I made a few more patterns as well for the processor and the processor array, and those work well. I made a few more processor arrays in between episodes, and that is because there's one other machine that I kind of hid back here at the end of this line, and this is definitely the end of what I'm going to do for this wiring. Hopefully, it doesn't cause any issues with having too many machines hooked up. But I made this because I want to have a place to automate making machine holes. So to make like an MV machine hole, it needs this machine casing, and that's pretty easy to make in a crafting table, but we can't automate that using a wrench just because the wrench has durability and AE doesn't really work well with it. So instead, we can use this assembler recipe, and then any kind of machine casing uses the same configuration. So I basically just have a program circuit sitting in here set to configuration 8, and then I'm able to put machine casing recipes in here. So far we just have LV and MV. And then I made the actual crafting recipes for the machine holes, and it's been working well. It's definitely nice to have there. It took another assembler, which is a bit expensive, but it's going to be very good. And we can use that for pretty much every single machine casing going forward. Yeah, I think that's everything I did up here in between episodes. The other thing we did yesterday was look a bit at deep mob learning. And I spent some time, I made a few more data models and spent some time, I guess, going through them. I wanted to get up to the Enderman model for what we wanted to do today. So if you look in the quest book, yeah, so we made hellish matter, and then I ended up making a blaze data model, ran that for a bit, and then with the hellish matter we got from that, we were able to make this extraterrestrial matter, which is just an ender pearl surrounded by hellish matter. And then with that, we were able to make the Enderman data model. And I want to do this because we need to automate ender pearls for just in general. It's really nice to have. And then also for what I want to do today, we need a steady supply of ender pearls. Only thing is with this, I guess it's in here, with this data model, it does take around 2,000 RF a tick. So it's very expensive, and our power supply can't quite keep up with it. But the reason we are automating all of this stuff is so that we can use these numismatic dynamos and up our power situation a whole lot. You can also see I got to the advanced tier here because I've run, I think it took like 50, and now so I've run 80 in total. And yeah, basically the higher that tier gets, the more pristine matter we're going to get. And just to show how the loot fabricator works, like we want some more ender pearls, so it can automatically, like since this is already clicked, it just automatically makes ender pearls when you throw in the pristine matter. So definitely the best way to automate ender pearls, and a lot of other stuff as well. And we also got shulker matter. I did a few shulkers, and this is good because we can automate diamonds. So now, yeah, we can get a steady supply of diamonds going in, and it's very nice to have. Cool. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of the stuff I did in between episodes. And then I also set up this area, which looks a lot like what we did when we were setting up the farms over here. Or I guess not farms, but like automation production lines. But yeah, I want to automate pulsating polymer clay. And this is kind of complex, but you see there's only one way to get it, and that's by putting together clay and pulsating dust. So clay is the easier resource to get. We can basically use a chemical reactor and just mix together water and dust. And dust is just made by a bunch of macerating. So we can take cobblestone, turn that into gravel, and then into sand and into dust, and then throw it into a chemical reactor, and we have clay blocks. The harder part is getting this pulsating dust. How we were doing it before was just smelting up this uraninite, but this is only, I'm pretty sure it can only be made with the ore, which isn't really an infinite supply. But this resonant clathrate, don't know how to say that. This is made by combining nether quartz, which is decently easy to get. We can just throw glass into an electrolyzer. If we combine nether quartz and then this resonant ender, which is just a fluid extractor of ender pearls. So if we can hook up the simulation chamber to get that infinite supply of ender pearls going, and then basically get that infinite supply of resonant ender and combine that all together, we should technically have infinite polymer clay. And then we can kind of put together a bunch of these simulation chambers. We can get shulkers going to get a lot of diamonds and put those into those dynamos and hopefully take it from there. So I'm going to bring on my other world, my single player world, which I haven't shown yet. That's around like the 4th or 5th stage of electricity. And because I did this automation there, and I can kind of walk through it a bit easier that way. So I'll be right back in that world. Before we jump in, actually, I want to show this quick flowchart. This was made, I found it on Reddit. Yeah, it's a Reddit screenshot. But this kind of shows the process we're going down. It looks really complicated, but basically, like I was saying before, we get cobblestone, turn that into dust, and then that gets clay pretty easily. So that's the easier part. And then we can also take some glass from the sand and basically turn that into nether quartz, turn that into resonant clathrate, and then pulsating dust. And we're getting that resonant ender from running it through a simulation chamber. Yeah, so hopefully this helps visualize it a little bit, and then I'll also bring up my world with actual machines, and then we can try to do it in our new world. It's a whole new place. Yeah, so I've recently moved all of our stuff into a void world, as you can tell. This world is pretty messy. I am not that proud of it, but I have a lot of automation set up here. I got some like HV machines going on, and then I do have some of the EV, which is the next tier, which this takes a lot more power, but it does things really quickly. Yeah, not going to spend too much time going over stuff, but you can see some of the crazier multi-block structures. We got blast furnaces with different coils, a bunch of different automation going on. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in this world. But what I want to show you is, what we've done with actual deep mob learning. So yeah, here we can see we kind of have the different tiers, and they're just running with the pulsating polymer clay that we are auto-producing, and then they're making simulation chambers and piping it into our system. Yeah, but anyway, so what I actually wanted to show here, so it's loading a little bit, sorry about the chunks. So yeah, we have a bunch of different machines, and I use this 16 times conductive wire, and I just did LV everything, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to use a combination of LV and MV, because we need some machines to basically run more. Like some machines are always running. This electrolyzer runs a lot, and the furnaces are always... I ended up making 2 here. But yeah, so we got our cobblestone generator, and that basically passes it through all these macerators. And then also this sand gets split up between this macerator and then these electric furnaces, because we need glass and dust. The dust is just combined with water pretty easily to make clay. And then, let's see, we got nether quartz over here, and this is making the actual pulsating dust, but let's see. It's been a while since I looked at this as well. The nether quartz and then the liquid ender pearls basically come in here, make those cathrates, and then the cathrates come into the furnace and turn into resonating dust, and it's basically just a bunch of stuff getting piped around. It's a little bit complex to look at, but hopefully when we do it, it makes a bit more sense. And then we actually have our simulation chamber running here, and oh yeah, that has a lot of iterations. But you see that 30% pristine chance is not bad. And then the simulation, and then the loot fabricator basically makes ender pearls and pipes that into resonant ender. So that's kind of it, slightly visualized. And then I am able to get a bunch of pulsating polymer clay, and then also we have a ton of the matter. Yeah, that's hopefully this helps. But yeah, we're gonna go try to make this hopefully a little bit neater on our other world. Okay, we are back, and I actually just crafted up all the machines before I started recording again, just because they're all pretty much the same. I mean, it's just going to be some subcomponents, some circuits, and some machine holes. So, figure I didn't need to make everybody sit through that. But yeah, we have a whole lot of machines to use. So first things first, I'm going to set up our basic machines. what was the other one? The chemical reactor. So we're going to need 3 macerators for gravel, sand, and dust. And then we're going to need a chemical reactor to turn the dust into clay. And then also, I decided to use a basic fluid extractor for the ender pearl stuff just because it's quick. And I think this line won't be in use all the time. So it's okay to have the 5 machines here. Yeah. Looks pretty. Okay, now I need to work on some of the cabling, which is definitely going to be the harder part. So that is the output slot. I was nervous about that. So I'm going to move that. Oh, I needed the other wrench, don't I? The GregTech wrench. It's not called a GregTech wrench. Okay. Just because I want to put the cobblestone generator somewhere else. Or like kind of hidden in the back here. Cool. Awesome. And now that's macerating up into gravel. So yeah, this cobblestone generator is... I used the compact one because when I did this previously, I found that the regular one didn't work. But it's pretty simple to make. Nuclear Craft has these nice ones. So we basically just need 8 of these regular ones surrounded by bronze, and the regular one is just some steel plates and lava and water. So it was annoying to craft because we need the actual buckets, but it's fine. Cool. So we got the cobblestone generator, and I can just cover that up like that. Boom. It's just getting cobblestone out of thin air. And then now begins the... actually, I want to see if this will work. I want to see if I can input directly. So if I make the output like that, let me try. Will this input directly? If I make sure the output is this way? No, it doesn't look like it does. That's okay. We can use item conduits. I really don't think it makes that much of a difference. Okay, I'll keep the output on this side then. Okay, let's set up our 2 other macerators, and we're just going to need, item conduits pretty much wherever we go. So I guess we'll just start at green, and we're going to be using a whole lot of different colors, but that's okay. So this is going to extract on green, and this will insert on green. And we should start seeing this go as well. Cool, now we got sand. So sand is going to be brown, so we'll extract on brown, and then this is going to be for dust. So we should be making dust here, right? And we're also going to need to put our sand into one of our electric furnaces so that we can make glass. But that's okay. So the dust goes here, and the dust will come back on brown. Or the dust will extract on blue, and that will go into our chemical reactor to make our actual clay. Cool. And the other thing that clay is going to need is water. So I'm going to just throw some... Hey, look at it, it's a different place back there. I'm going to throw some of these ender vars up here, and then I figure we can just extract it that way. Just need a couple buckets of water to initially fill it up. Cool, and that is now an unlimited water source. And let's get our ender fluid conduits and just bring that into here. So we'll extract that on green, and then for fluid, insert on green. And yeah, we've gotten a bunch of clay now, and the water is filling up pretty quickly. I thought about using the infinite water source from Nuclear Craft, but that's far too slow, and that's pretty out of the way. I think it's fine. Actually, it looks kind of nice in the wall. Okay, cool. So that's half of what we need to do. That's definitely the easier half, but we'll work on the harder half now. So we have a few more. Oops, a few more machines here. And we're also going to need to bring over our simulation chamber and set that up somewhere. But maybe I'll put that like in the wall over here or something. So let me see how I want to line this up. I guess one of the things we're going to need to do is glass. So let me get that going first. Bring over the item conduits. And so the sand is coming out of here, just coming out on brown. So it should just round robin and just put some sand into here and some sand into there. Is it doing that? Ooh, round robin is disabled. Let's enable that because I want sand to go into both of these. Although I'm pretty sure the dust will back stuff very quickly. And this is going to make glass. And now we want to put glass into an alloy smelter to make nether quartz. I also really don't know why that's a recipe, but that's fine. Okay, we're on purple now. And we'll put this in on purple. And this will dump some glass into here, and it should... Oh, is that... Oh, no, it's an electrolyzer. Whoops. And this should be... Nice. Now we're getting nether quartz. And then the nether quartz is going to need to combine in an MV chemical reactor with the actual resonant ender that we get. So I guess I'll just put that in here. We don't have the resonant ender yet, but we will once we set up our deep mob learning setup. So if we throw down our chemical reactor, I really hope I'm doing this right. So this will extract on cyan, and this will insert on cyan. And so this should fill up with nether quartz, and then we'll also have to bring in the resonant ender. Okay, I think that should work. And then once we actually have a resonant clathrate thing, we're going to need another electric furnace, which will go here. And I guess whatever we're not ready to extract out of here yet, but this will be light gray. So this should take the clathrates that we make. Also, I could be botching that pronunciation for all I know. And then the last step will actually be alloy smelting the two things together. And then we need to remember this fluid solidifier will be used as well. So we're going to want to be taking clay, which I guess we haven't done that yet. So clay will be gray. That's pretty fitting. And then we'll make both of these things be clay, or be gray for clay. Rhyming is fun. And this will insert on gray. Oh, you know what? Actually, hold up. I actually want to put a limited item filter on this as well, because we don't want clay to fill up both of these. Actually, will it? Let's check that. I want to see, I think it's going to end up actually filling up both slots of this alloy smelter, but it'd be nice if it didn't. Okay, it does. Yeah, so I think a limited item filter should solve that issue, because clay is definitely going to come in a lot faster than the actual pulsating dust. So limited item filter, how hard is this to make? Oh no. That is not easy, but I think we can do it. Oh man, that's annoying. Is there any better way to do this? I also don't have a zombie head. I need to get some pristine zombie matter. Let me think. I don't think there's any like options in here. I think we do need a limited item filter. Okay, give me a sec. I'll gather some of the things we need to make this. All right, so I ended up making a zombie data model, and now I'm just, oh, I already got the luck is real. I only did 3 iterations. I already got the pristine zombie matter. So I'm doing that because I need to get the zombie heads to make this limited item filter. These things are pretty cool, but we need an advanced item filter, which needs a Z-Logic controller, which isn't too bad with this slice and splice, but this is a crazy build that we're nowhere near tungsten steel. So we can do it with this, and it just uses an extra couple solarium and some red alloy. But solarium is something we haven't made yet, so we can do that. It's really not too bad to make. It's just alloy smelted gold and soul sand. And then the other thing we're going to need is a block of red alloy, which I think I have. Oh, no, I don't. Wait, red alloy is copper, right? Yeah. Actually, let me make a pattern for that. That'll be a little bit easier. Red alloy ingot. And that's for making the GregTech version of it. And we need processing mode. The alloy smelter. Because we do have an alloy smelter, right? Yep. So now we should be able to request like a bunch of red alloy, and that should work. And then I don't have to like keep on feeding it redstone, which is pretty nice. Is that cool? It is bringing stuff in. Awesome. That goes nice and quick too with the MV machines. So yeah, we can grab some of our solarium. This is the first time we made this, but pretty nice to have. I don't think it's used all that much, but yeah. And now for the block of red alloy, we got that. And, oh, whoops. Need to click one more time. Oh, we are missing a processor. Can make a few actually. I do want to make more crafting CPUs. I'm finding myself running to that issue a few times already, where I can only basically do one craft at a time. So it's pretty nice to have the crafting CPUs to be like, all right, I want to be compressing something and at the same time making circuits and at the same time doing some wire stuff. Yeah, so maybe that's something I can do in between episodes. Okay. Now are we good? Awesome. So that's our Z-Logic controller. I don't know if there's a quest for that or it doesn't look like it. And we can make our advanced item filter and our limited item filter. Okay. Now what we're going to want is basically a stack of this pulsating dust. So we don't have a stack yet. Okay, we can use 9. That's fine. And then clay, sure. And, okay, so let's do this. So we can throw in this limited item filter, and we can drag things in, actually. Can I, like, oh, nice. Okay, we don't actually need the full amount. So I obviously want to limit it. I'm just scrolling here. I want to limit it to a stack of each of these items, because then it can't do more than a stack, so it's not going to take up both of the slots. And I think that's pretty much all we'll have to do there. And now, what were we connecting that on? Let's, wait, no, we want clay, right? Okay, and clay is coming out on gray. Oh yeah, the rhyme. I forgot about that. And now we should see a bunch of clay go in. Wow, that was really fast. And yeah, it's only taking up one slot. And then once we get the pulsating dust coming out of here, we should get the advanced alloy smelter, and then we'll just have to pipe it out, and we should have the pulsating polymer clay. Cool, that's looking good. So next step, and probably the hardest step, is actually setting up the deep mob learning part of this. So let me take out all this stuff. Actually, I also don't think these things retain power, which is annoying. It's like, goodbye 3 million RF. Try to think about where I want to put this. So we're going to want to be piping in some of the polymer clay that we get from here. And then we're going to want to put that into, okay, I don't think that should be too bad. I forget if these things are sided though or not. I think it has to extract out of the bottom, but I don't think it automatically does. Okay, I'm gonna give myself a little bit more space. Actually, let me just clear this out a bit. Ooh, got some iron. Not bad, not bad. This looks weird now. Okay, I can mess with that later. Okay, so I think if I just did like this, although where does it have to insert? So that's the loot fabricator. And then if we need it to basically pipe in the pristine matter from here into here. I just remember these things are really weirdly sided, so this might not work out like I expect it to, but we will see. And we throw in the Enderman thing, wherever it is. And we're also going to need to supply these guys with some power. So I should just be able to pipe that over here. I don't like it when things don't look good. Oh, wow, that's bad. It's okay. I can clean this up later. Don't do that, and then just insert over here. So these things should both be powering up, and we are losing a bit, but we're going to need to throw in a bit of pulsating polymer clay to get this started. And this is also going to eat up more power than I'm making, so I kind of need to do this carefully. But once we automate this pulsating polymer clay, I want to set up some shulker models and some dynamos, and hopefully that should work. Okay, so yeah, I'll let that run a bit, and then hopefully once it gets a pristine matter, it'll pipe it into here, and then I should be able to do it from there. But essentially, I am going to want this here to extract on, what haven't we used yet? Pink. And then this will insert on pink. And that should get us our liquid resonant ender. I'm not going to have that connection going. And, ooh, yeah, it's a bit messy, but I think it's just the power line. I don't like it all. Ah, oh, damn. Okay, so it's not, it's not able to insert on the side. That's a bit annoying. Let me sort this out. I'll be right back. Okay, that's not too bad, right? And then I also ended up, I moved the actual energy wiring. Just I always forget, you can just put it on the same length as, or put it on the same side as the item conduits. So it's a little bit cleaner. I feel like this is pretty nice. It's kind of cool. It's got like different machines. But yeah, and this is now successfully pulling the pristine Enderman matter from here into here. I did have to take out the Enderman data model because our power was getting a bit low. This is positive now, right, though? Okay. But hopefully our power problems will be cured soon enough. And now I'm hoping this is actually, if this can't extract from the side, I can just pull from the bottom, so it's not that big of a deal. But if it can, I'd be very happy. Pink. I guess we haven't actually done it yet. Let me just do one set. Is that gonna pull? It is. Sweet. Okay. And now look at this. It's making our resonant ender. So now all we should really have to do is, wait, what do we do with this? Okay. I gotta refresh my brain. We got resonant ender. That's gotta go, okay, into the chemical reactor. So we're gonna need some fluids as well. Oh man, that's some bulky cabling. Did I do 2? Okay. Oh, okay, I see, that's fine. And we're going to need to put our fluids into here. Okay. So water is coming out of green, right? So so we want to pull this out of a different thing. So let's pull out the resonant ender on brown. We're never inserting anything. That shouldn't go anywhere right now, right? Okay. And then we want to insert the resonant ender over here on brown, right? Oh no. Wait, I still want to extract items. Whoops. Okay, we don't want water in there. We want to insert this on brown, and that should, okay, awesome. That's making our cathrates, right? Where's that going? Okay, oh, sweet, that's going in here. Awesome, look at that. Automated pulsating dust, and then that gets brought into here. Sweet, and now I got pulsating polymer clay. That's great. And is that everything we need for, why isn't, okay. I think that's everything we need, right? Oops. I'm curious as to why the items, or the fluids aren't showing up. How is this connect? That's a fluid conduit. Conduit connector. Anyway, we don't need fluids in here anyway. But yeah, it looks like that is working well. I'm gonna want to make sure that everything like is able to sustain itself. But yeah, I need to be careful running that resonant, or running this pulsating polymer clay Enderman model for a bit, just because our power is struggling a little bit. But what I want to do is basically, I can just have a storage drawer or something here holding the pulsating polymer clay. But I want to basically have some power gen set up over here. I think that'd be a nice place for it, where we have another simulation chamber and a loot fabricator with diamonds and the numismatic dynamo I was talking about earlier. But yeah, for now, I'd say it's pretty much a success minus the power issues. Let me make a drawer really quick, and then we can just pipe in our pulsating polymer clay. look at the key as well. Also, my inventory is getting pretty messy. Let's put it there, why not? And then a couple more item conduits. Let's not touch this. And then what haven't we used? Lime. That's a lot of colors we are doing. And this should bring us, awesome, the pulsating polymer clay. Cool, we got 24. That's not that many, but it's certainly something. And that's just for the ender pearls that we smelted up. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it there for this episode. I'd say this is definitely a success. We got another nice machine line going here with some interesting cabling choices, but it's not too bad. But yeah, so I think next episode, what I want to do is actually take this pulsating polymer clay and then bring it over to this side and then set up some numismatic dynamos and get some higher power generation going. And then we shouldn't have any issue just letting this run all the time. But that is going to do it for this episode. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.